So you started playing Blox Fruits and you enjoyed the game so far. Or perhaps you're about to start playing the game and you need someone to guide you towards the right direction. I'm going to give you guys a first C guide for Blox Fruits. I'm going to cover a lot of things in this video, so if you're looking for anything in particular, be sure to check out the chapters. It'll help you out a lot. Alright, to start off, I want to talk about the pirates and the marines. There's really no difference in which side you pick. But I do want to point out that if you're picking the marine as a new player, you will spawn on the marine island. I recommend picking pirates because pirates are cool and because most players are pirates. If you're on the marine island and want to switch over as a pirate, talk to the pirate recruiter and he'll switch you over. And if you're on the pirate island and want to be a marine, talk to the marine recruiter and he'll switch you over. Alright, once you pick a side, depending on your luck, you might have a shark fin on your back, a pair of wings, or some bunny ears. And if you get really unlucky, you're just a regular human with no type of cool features. These are called races. There are 6 races in the game, but only 4 are given out at the start. There's a game pass that you can buy to reroll your race for 90 Robux, but for now, I highly recommend not buying it since whatever race you may have doesn't affect you until the second seed. Okay, now that we got that out the way, click on the compass and you'll be guided to the first quest giver, and trust me guys, this compass will be necessary. Keep doing the quest over and over until you're level 15. Next, I want to talk about the NPCs on the starter island. This guy is a home point NPC. By talking to him, he'll ask you to set your spawn point. And now, for example, if you're lost and want to head back, click on the home button and you'll be teleported back. Next, we have the Blox Fruit dealer. We'll come back to him later because right now he's useless. The next NPC is the sword dealer. If you'd like, you can buy one of the swords he offers. I bought one during my leveling journey, but overall I recommend not buying one considering the sword will pretty much be useless very quickly. Next, we have the boat dealer. He sells you a boat to travel from island to island. The last NPC is called the luxury boat dealer. And to buy boats from this guy, you will need to own the Fast Boats Game Pass. His boats are really fast and will make traveling a lot easier. By now, you might have noticed you have stat points available. I recommend putting your points into melee and defense for now. Okay, now you'll want to head over to the jungle island. Remember, if you don't know where it is, follow the compass. And from here on out, continue questing and continue to follow the compass until you're level 50. And if you've done everything right, you should be level 50 and questing on the pirate village. After reaching level 50, here's where things get spicy. You want to sail over back to the jungle island, speak to the Blox Fruit Gacha guy. This guy will sell you a random fruit every 2 hours. At level 50, it should cost around $32,000, but if you're balling and have Roblox Premium, it should be a bit cheaper, like around 25k. The price will increase the higher level you are. Also, before you buy, I just want to say, make sure that there's no one around, because once you have a fruit in your hand, and if someone comes and decides to kill you, your fruit is gone. As of right now, there are 35 fruits in the game at the time of this recording. Now, you may be wondering, Medlar, what's the best fruit? There's not really a best fruit in my opinion, but I highly recommend getting an elemental fruit for the first seed. This includes smoke, flame, ice, sand, light, magma, rumble, dough, and blizzard. And the reason for that is because enemies cannot damage you if you're higher level than them. As you can see, the enemy cannot attack me, and this is very useful when leveling up. I also want to point out that this does not work with bosses. I also made a fruit tier list for leveling. Here it is. I repeat, this is for leveling, not PvP or anything else, just leveling for the first C. Also, if you place your fruit into your storage, you will not be able to drop it. Keep that in mind. Okay, next I want to talk about the Blox Fruit dealer. Every 4 hours, he sells random fruits for a large amount of money, but in return you get exactly what you want. Considering money is very limited in the first C, try your best to only buy when needed. Okay, now I want to talk about the things I recommend to get and why you should get them, and things I recommend to avoid and why you should avoid them. Let's start off with the things I recommend to do. First things I highly recommend over to do is to head over to the ability teacher located in the frozen village and get your abilities. This includes your hockey, which can be bought for 25,000, and hockey allows the player to basically do more damage. You can toggle it on by pressing J. You can also buy your air jump for $10,000, which allows you to jump multiple times, which will be useful when questing. And finally, you can buy your flash step for 100,000, and this allows the player to teleport between 2 places quickly, and you can toggle it by pressing R. Another thing I recommend to do is getting a good item such as the black cape, which you can purchase at level 50 for $50,000 at the Marine Fortress. Items are very useful as they increase your health, stamina, and or damage depending on the item. Another good item you can get is the Vice Admiral coat, which drops from the boss, Vice Admiral, located at the Marine Fortress with a 10% drop chance rate. Another thing I recommend getting is a fighting style, especially if you're putting all your points into melee. There are 3 fighting styles you can get in the first sea. The first one being Dark Step, which you can buy from the Dark Step teacher for $150,000. The second one being Electric, which can be bought from the Mad Scientist for $500,000. And the last one being the Water Kung Fu, which can be bought from the Water Kung Fu teacher for $750,000. Each fighting style being unique in its own way. No fighting style is really better. I personally recommend getting Dark Step because it's just badass. The last thing I recommend to do in the first sea is doing the Saber Puzzle. Not only for the sword, but also after completing the puzzle, you can purchase your observation. If you don't know how to do the Saber Puzzle, I'll give you a quick TODR. Make your way over to the jungle island, locate the 5 buttons, go talk to the NPC in the middle of the island. Next, you want to go to the desert island. You'll see a collapsed house with a red door. Equip your torch and stand still next to the brown curtain. It will burn it down and open a secret room. Grab the cup and then make your way over to the frozen village. Once you arrive at the frozen village, enter the cave. In there, you will see drops of water falling down to the ground. Stand underneath it with the cup in your hand. Once the cup is filled, exit the cave and go to the top of the mountain. Then enter the house, find the sick man inside, tell him you're here to help him. Then you want to make your way over to the pirate village and you will find a rich man there. Talk to him. Then you want to make your way over to the secret island. Once you defeat him, go back and talk to the rich man. You will have a relic item in your slot. Go back to the jungle and prepare for the final battle. Underneath the Blox gacha dealer is a tiny stone building with a hole in the wall. Plug it in and the door will open and the Saber expert will be inside. If he's not inside, someone probably killed him. So either wait a few minutes or join a new server. He respawns every 30 minutes. He is level 200, so keep that in mind. After you kill him, he will drop a legendary tier sword called the Saber. After completing this quest, you will be able to buy Instinct from the Instinct teacher. This is important. This is called your observation. You will need this. This will be very useful. So I highly recommend to do this. Alright boys, now I want to move on to some of the things I recommend to avoid. Using guns as your main damage source. Guns are so useless, especially the guns in the first sea. I would highly recommend not spending your money on getting these items or going out of your way to get any of the guns. Same thing with the swords. Now, I may have some people disagree with me on this one, but I think having a strong melee style or having a strong fruit is way better than having to buy a new sword every couple levels. Another thing I recommend people to avoid is spending a lot of money rolling fruits. Fruits will get expensive as you level up, and trust me, you are going to need the money in the future. Lastly, you should avoid spending too much time trying to get every little hat because it gives a tiny little stat buff. Remember, this is the first sea. Most of these hats will be useless by the time you reach the second sea. Now, the last thing I want to talk about are the codes. There are a lot of double XP codes you can use. If you redeem them all, it should total up to around 6 hours. But be careful, the timer does automatically start when you enter them in. That's why I saved this for the last thing, because I wanted you guys to understand the basics before you redeem them and waste all your time running around figuring out what to do while your timer is ticking. And if you're wondering, the first sea is from level 1 to level 700. So once you're level 700, you are ready to begin the second sea. And that's really it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, if I missed anything out, please let me know. I'll try to answer all your questions. And yeah, until then, my name is Medlar, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Go against the use, foolish, don't do this move. Don't spit in my presence, add up my weapons. Got campuses and towns locked down, government status out of habit. Where cast is mad at 8 feet for the masses.